Hi, this is David from Rolling Mavericks. Today I want to introduce the fourth generation of the Rolling Mavericks Ultralight Enduro Trail Jack stand. If you are an adventure rider and you go off the beaten track, sooner or later you're going to get a flat tire in the middle of nowhere and then you have to fix it. And if you have the right tools, it makes life a lot easier, because fixing flats, let's be serious, is no fun to begin with. But you can make your life easier with a Trail Jack stand. This is the latest version, and I shouldn't call it ultralight, I should almost call it featherlight. It weighs less than 100 grams, 99 to be precise. And at the same time, it's easier to use, it's more compact, and it has no more loose parts that you have to put in a bag. And on top of that, it's much stronger than the previous generations, even though the previous generations could handle just about any bike. So what's the big difference with the new Trail Jack? Well, we're using a button clip. You've seen these before on crutches, for example, and it's really easy to adjust the height. You don't have to use a pin anymore. And in a minute, I will show you and demonstrate how you lift either the front wheel or the rear wheel. The first thing you need to do is look for solid ground, because you're going to lift the front wheel up a little bit. You're going to take the wheel out, and you don't want the Trail Jack or your side stand to go into the dirt. Once you find a good solid spot, put it in gear. And before you lift the wheel, just loosen the axle nuts, because once the wheel is off the ground, it's a lot harder to do. Now you need to find a nice point to put the Trail Jack. And if it's the front wheel, you want to go as far forward as you can on the bash plate. Fortunate for me, my bash plate has holes in it already. If you don't have holes in your bash plate, or you don't have a place to put the Trail Jack, perhaps you want to drill a hole. It's designed for a 13mm hole that fits the yoke. Measure roughly about 5 centimeters above the hole you want to use. And then adjust the height of the Trail Jack accordingly. And now that I'm in position, I'm going to put the yoke in the hole that I want to use. Lean the Trail Jack like that. Find a position with my free right hand in this case, so I can push the bike onto the side stand. I'll grab the Trail Jack at the bottom. I'm just pushing against the bike a little bit. I lift it up as straight as possible. Now my wheel is free. I can take the axle out and fix the flat. It's as simple as that. Now some people may have a concern, if the soil is soft, that this little, let me take it out, little foot is too small. The surface area is quite small, and it's easy for it to go into the soft ground. I designed it on purpose like that because I didn't want a huge foot, because you want to carry it. And it's very easy to improvise. Find a stick, something like this, that you can put under the jack. If that doesn't work, use a glove. It'll increase the surface area. If that doesn't work, you probably have some tool you could use to put under the Trail Jack. It is really not an issue. The rear wheel is just as simple. It's just slightly different procedure. At the bottom of the Trail Jack near the foot, you'll find a piece of Velcro, double-sided. Use that to lock the brake of the front wheel after you lock the front brake, so it can't roll once the rear wheel is in the air. Find a nice spot. I prefer a point to jack the bike up with the trail stand near the rear of the swing arm. Seems to make it more stable, but try your bike at home, see what works for you. Again, extend the Trail Jack just above that point, a couple of centimeters, an inch and a half. Put the yoke under there, put some pressure on the side of the bike so that it goes onto the side stand, and you can put this one in place. And there we go again. Now your rear wheel is loose and you can fix it. And of course, you could also use this for chain maintenance. If you've never used a Trail Jack before, practice it on your bike at home before you go on a big trip. That way you don't get caught in the middle of nowhere with a flat tire and you have to figure that out. And on top of that, you never tried out a Trail Jack, because on each bike it may be a different point where you want to put the Trail Jack. And then you also know whether you need to drill a hole in the bash plate. As far as maintenance goes, there's actually no maintenance unless a lot of sand gets into these holes and this inner tube gets stuck due to the button clip and grit or dirt. Just take the whole thing apart. You can pull out the foot and take out the yoke. And if you have a camel bag, rinse it with water, clean the thing, put it together, and you're good to go. You can store it like this. You don't need a bag with the loose parts anymore. However, I designed it so the yoke still comes out, just in case you really want it as compact as possible, and then you can store the yoke somewhere else. So let's see how much the new Trail Jack can take. 560. I'm not even seeing much deformation in that top hole. Still not convinced the Trail Jack can hold your bike because you think this is a lightweight enduro bike. Yeah, it's about 160 kilos with gasoline, etc. But I'm overweight. Now, let's see what happens. So I have a 160 kilo bike or even more. The front wheel's loose, off the ground. And with my 100 kilos on top of the Trail Jack, I can bounce up and down and it will hold it. So it will hold your bike up, no problem. Thanks for watching, ride safely, and I'll see you next time.